Hello, and welcome to a new lesson for English learners in grade 8. Our today's lesson is Look Back to Look Ahead. My name is Sanja Božinović, and I will be your English teacher. By the end of today's lesson, you will be able to talk and write about your experience of learning English. For this lesson, you need a pencil and a notebook, and you will also need a tablet, a laptop, or a mobile phone with internet connection. Look back, look around, look ahead. It's time for reflection. It's the end of the school year, and it's time to look back on how much and what you have learned during this school year. It's also time to look around to see where we are, what we have learned, and to look ahead, to make some plans how to continue learning English in the future. Let's look back first. What have you learned? Think about your learning of English this school year and create a mind map of your learning. When we think about what makes us better English speakers, we usually think about language skills. So you say, I understand English better when I listen to people and when I read in English. These are your listening and reading skills. You can also say, I can talk better to people in English and I can write better and longer texts. These are your speaking and writing skills. Then you can remember that you haven't been learning only how to speak, how to read, how to write, and how to listen in English. You've learned also a lot about different cultures. So you can add learning about different cultures to your mind map. And then you can remember that you have learned a lot more about English and a lot more about learning while learning English. So you can add that to your mind map too. You can create your mind map on a piece of paper or in your notebook. In that case, when you are happy, when you finish your mind map, you can take a photo of it to share it. Or you can decide to use one of the online tools. On the screen, there are 3 different online tools. They are called MindMeister, Koggle, and Popplet. You can use one of them too, and then you can share a link. A photo or a link, you can share your mind map on the link that you can see on the right hand side of the screen. It says share bit.ly learning English mind map. I prepared a list of questions to help you think about the challenges and the accomplishments in your learning English journey. If you're working on this lesson in front of the computer, please pause this video and take your notebook. Read the questions from the screen and write the answers into your notebook. Then you can use some information from your answers to add to your mind map about your learning English journey. I hope you have all the answers in your notebook and that you have added some more information to your mind map. It's time now to start thinking about the opportunities for learning English in the future. When we think about how to improve our learning process, how to learn English better, we first must think about how to improve our skills and set goals how to improve listening, reading, speaking, and writing. And then we must think that English is not only words and grammar and the right pronunciation, our skills in speaking and writing. It's also about how we learn to communicate with people from different cultures, how well we learn to respect other cultures. And also we can use English to learn other subjects. It's very useful to be good at English if you're interested in learning about other subjects at school. It's time to pause the video again and think, how can you do it? And think about what you are most excited about for the coming year. What are you going to improve? Here are some ideas how to improve your listening skills. On the left-hand side of the screen, there is a wheel. It's a listening wheel. It's a game-like activity which helps you decide how you can improve your listening skills. You can spin the wheel. When it stops, you do what it tells you. Some of the ideas how to improve your listening skills are to listen to poetry read aloud, to listen to an audiobook, to listen to a podcast, to listen to the lyrics when you listen to music, etc. On the right-hand side of the screen, there are some useful links that will take you to the pages where you can practice your English. Like, for example, lyrics training will help you practice English with the help of music and the lyrics from your favorite songs. LibriVox is an audio library, and the British Council page Learn English had some very nice podcasts for you to listen regularly, and you will improve your listening skills. It's also very important to read in English. On the left-hand side of this screen, there is a video. It is a video about the importance of reading. You can find it if you copy the link bit.ly yiread3 into your browser, and you will access the video about why different people, your age, some younger, some older than you, why they all like reading and they find reading very useful. Your task is to watch the video, listen carefully, and find one statement that you agree with, and then write it into your notebook. On the right-hand side of this screen, you will find some of the pages where you can find very interesting texts for you to read and improve your English. Like, for example, the Extensive Reading Foundation, American English Reading on the Go, Lit2Go, Project Gutenberg, Poets.org, British Council Learn English Teens, News in Levels. These all offer a lot of texts, very interesting texts with a number of topics that you will find interesting, and they are all free to read. Writing is one skill that you must improve, keep improving. How? You can try creative writing, you can try blogging, and you can start your diary. If you're not very fond of creative writing, blogging, and writing a diary, you can just practice writing in English. It will help you. You can express your opinions and feelings better if you're good at writing. Of course, if you want to improve your English, you must keep on speaking English to people who are native speakers and to those who are not native speakers. A lot of people in the world use English even if they are not native speakers, even if English is not their mother tongue. It's not their native language. They use English, we say, as a lingua franca, as a language that a lot of people in the world use, and that's a language that helps them communicate. You can communicate face-to-face, and you can communicate virtually online. I hope you are making notes. I hope you are adding to your mind map from the beginning of this lesson. But now it's time to show what you know. A new wheel. This wheel is word word wheel again, and you can find it if you use the link on the left hand side of the screen, bit.ly quiz wheel 8. When you drag this wheel to spin, you will get your task. Please choose at least one of these tasks. Tell your favorite story in 70 to 80 words. Sing a song in English. Present an English-speaking country. Read aloud a short paragraph. Say your favorite quotation and explain it. Watch a how-to video and summarize it in speaking or in writing. I hope you find these tasks interesting and engaging. Please try at least one. It's time for the main task of this lesson. It's a speaking task. The title of your talk is My English, and your task is to prepare a talk on the topic of My English, your learning of English, that will last for 1 minute. Please use your notes. Think about what this lesson is all about. Then organize your talk into an introduction, the body, and the conclusion, and then practice saying it aloud until you are happy with it. Then record it and share it with your teacher and your classmates. This checklist will help you. Have you talked for 1 minute? Does your talk have an introduction, the body, and the conclusion? Have you talked about learning English, the accomplishments, the challenges, the plans? Have you used your notes from this lesson to prepare it? Have you spoken loudly and clearly? And paid attention to making full sentences and the pronunciation. Writing well in English is as important as speaking. That's why we are going to turn your speech into a letter. You will write a letter to yourself in the future. For that purpose, you will use the page futureme.org. You can see the link at the bottom of the slide. You will write to yourself in the future about your present situation, about your looking back, looking around, and looking ahead, about your experience of learning English and your plans to continue learning. And you will send that letter, you will write it, and you will paste it into the space for the letter on futureme.org, and you will send it to yourself. Pay attention that you write your email address properly so that the letter can get back to you in the future. It's time for the famous Last Words 2020. We are almost at the end of the school year, and you haven't been alone in learning English this year. It's time to write a note to your classmates, to your teachers, to all other people who have learned English with you this year. Go to the link bit.ly farewell messages, double-click, and leave a note for your classmates. Make it nice and write about your learning English experience. The last activity of this lesson is your exit card. There are 3 questions for the end of this lesson. The question next to the head, it says, "What have I learned?" Please write the answer into your notebook. Think about this lesson and what you have learned in it. The second question is next to your heart. I mean the heart of the figure you can see on the screen. How do I feel about it? Write the answer into your notebook. How do you feel about learning, about your learning process, about this reflective lesson. And the third question is next to the feet of the person on the screen. What action steps will I take? What are you going to do next? What are your plans? Write your answer into your notebook. And then you can see the 5-star rating. You can color 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5 stars depending on how happy you are with this lesson. I hope you enjoyed learning with me in this lesson, and goodbye until next time.